This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Julie Noble, and I'm the chair of the Climate Smart Kingston Commission. This is the July 22nd, 2020 meeting of the Climate Smart Kingston Commission. And present, I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's 5:06. And present commissioners, we have Dan Smith, Serena Pepper, Jessica Coonan, John Wackman, Betta Broad, Cal Truman, and Kevin McAvoy. And we also have Common Council Representative Rennie Scott Childress. So we have quorum. Welcome, everyone. Hopefully everyone's doing well. We don't currently have any guests, so we won't have any public comment. Are there any modifications to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on. We're going to review and approve the June 2020 meeting minutes. Hopefully everyone had a chance to look those over. Thank you, Kevin, for circulating those or doing such a good job for those. Are there any comments or concerns or questions with the June 2020 minutes? Okay, hearing none, I'd like a motion to approve the June 2020 minutes. Cal, can I get a second?
Yes, second.
John? Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
I think I wasn't there, right? I was sick at the last
You were
meeting.
not there. You're gonna abstain? Okay,
Okay.
so all in favor, give me a thumbs up or say yay. Okay, Kevin? Can't see you, Kevin. Are you doing a yay? No, you don't have any sound. Huh.
Uh-oh.
Kevin doesn't have any sound. Oh, somebody's sending me chats, and it's
Also
Kevin.
very blurry.
Okay, okay. Hold on, Kevin. We got you here.
He's in the Bardo.
All right, Kevin, I'm going to, in the meeting, I'm going to put the phone number in the chat.
Come back, Kevin, come back.
I lost you. Where are we? Here we go. Okay, Kevin, I sent you the number to call in. Can you give us a thumbs up, Kevin, on the minutes? If you're, oh, he can't even hear us.
Damn.
Okay, well.
Can he call in from a phone number?
There
There
he
he
is.
is. He has a phone in his hand. Okay.
He has a phone in his hand. Let's see if he writes back. Well, we can add his vote to the yay or nay. Either way, it's approved. I have enough approval here, so it's been approved. Thank you, everyone, for your vote and your approval, and Kevin for putting this together. You can hear us when you can hear us. All right, so we can't take minutes either, so we have to wait. Kevin, any?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I had to call in. The audio on my computer won't take the PIN number. It just won't do it.
Okay, are you able to put your cell phone on
Yeah, I'm gonna put
or do you want someone else to take notes?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Just go ahead. I have the minutes open. I think we're all set otherwise. Sorry for the delay. And onward.
Okay, so I don't know if I didn't really hear everything you said, but we did call the meeting to order at 5:06 and we voted on the minutes.
Right, I caught that.
Okay, do you approve the minutes?
5:06.
Yes, right? Or no? Do you? Yes. Okay, great.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so moving on to old business. 2020 Climate Action Plan and Greenhouse Gas Emissions Update. We were waiting the last time for final word from Novo Foundation on approval of the contract. And I actually got word on yesterday, that they do approve it, which is great. So it's been approved. They still have to develop the final contract with Cadmus, and until that happens, we can't actually move forward on it.
Julie, what's the dollar figure on that? How much are they given?
I haven't seen the contract, but the last that I heard was 100,000, which is pretty significant because my understanding is that we also spent 100,000 on the comprehensive plan. So this is a significant and super generous contribution by Novo, and significant investment, particularly. It's very poignant to me to be demonstrating that we're going to spend the same amount of money on our climate action plan as we did on our entire community's guidance document, which is our comp plan. So I'm excited about it, and so I'm just awaiting that contract to come through so we can actually start moving forward. Related is the work that's being done with refrigerants. So I'll actually let Dan and Jessica chime in here if they know more about where things are with the workshop, but that is part of the greenhouse gas emissions update that's going to be happening. So Dan, Jessica, have you heard anything else about when the workshop is going on?
I believe it starts mid-August and it's once a month. That's about all I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think August 12th, noon. That was that's all I've heard, and I just responded to Kim today to put me on the lineup.
Great.
Otherwise, I was just on our share folder today. I threw this our draft outline of a scope for kind of all the things that we've talked about and wanted to accomplish. So that just went up today. Sorry for the delay. But that pretty much outlines what we want to do. I saw your emails where Sean is going to be looking at the city assets. So I can reach out to Sean and see if there's any, I'll let him drive that bus, but if he needs some support in any way. And then going from there, I think we'll probably let the workshops help us out filling in the kind of the community aspects of it, looking at chain of custody, and just trying to untangle that mess from curbside to wherever it ends up, hopefully in the hands of a responsible reclaimer and scrap. And just as a side note, like at BARD in August, that's where we're going to be focusing on refrigeration, and I'll be doing an audit of the bigger systems there. So the two will just queue up nicely. So whatever lessons I learn from that at BARD, I'll be able to hopefully translate them or help with this effort. So that's all. And no CFA as yet. So no new 2020 Climate Smart Communities grant. I haven't heard anything. I don't know if anybody's heard anything about Climate Smart grant or even CFA at all.
No, and we haven't heard anything, and frankly, they would normally be due by next week. So
yeah, that would have been the deadline.
Yeah. So from our perspective, we're just hopeful to hang on to the grants that we have, and we haven't been told for any of the grants that we have, to stop. So if the effort is just to not award any future grants, at least to salvage the ones that are currently out there, I appreciate that. But yeah, we haven't heard anything at all, and we haven't heard anything from the more local ones like the Hudson River Estuary program or from the statewide CFA, and those will all have been due or due around now. So that will certainly change what next year looks like and moving forward, but we've got 60 grants already that we're working on, so it's not like we have a lack of work.
60?
What's that, John?
Well,
Say again.
60,
I think it's 60. Don't quote me.
non 60. Were you referring to grants from Climate Smart Communities? They haven't been giving grants for projects, have they? Climate Smart Communities program?
Yep.
Like
I
what?
actually, we have multiple Climate Smart Communities grants. I alone am managing several. So my organics grant is a Climate Smart Communities grant. My environmental asset manager grant that Sean was originally hired through, that's a Climate Smart Communities grant. And then other city staff have some as well. So like the green infrastructure grants at Deet Stadium, the parking lots, that's a Climate Smart Communities. And each of those Climate Smart Communities grants, you have to tie in to, as part of your deliverables, you will complete one of the actions or multiple actions. So like through the organics grant, we're going to be completing 5 Climate Smart actions.
Yeah, somehow I missed that. I knew that those were grants, but I did not realize that they were specifically Climate Smart Communities grants.
Yep. And so those in particular, not only do we, are the deliverables more actions, but we also get, in applying for those grants, we've also had an edge up because we're already Climate Smart community. So more points were awarded for those communities that were already Climate Smart.
I have a question. Do we on the, and I'm sorry, I don't have it handy, but on the portal, the Climate Smart portal on the city website, do we list those projects or no? Because they're not really like under the commission's purview.
So all of our projects are somewhere on the website. Most of them are through, like if they're Parks Department projects, they're on the Parks website, or if they're infrastructure projects or waterfront projects, then they're on the, specific portions of the website. There aren't, so the organics project and all my projects are somewhere there, but I haven't put them on through the lens of Climate Smart on the Climate Smart page. I certainly could. They may be, yeah, I haven't. And frankly, there isn't really anything on the Climate Smart page or even on my sustainability pages that says like the most up-to-date information about what actions we've completed. It probably says we're silver certified, but it doesn't say like, this is our portfolio. That's something I probably should do. Frankly, I get calls all the time from other communities. Or at the very least, I could even just put a link to the Climate Smart portal to say, you want to see our portfolio, click here, and they could bring them there, which is our whole portfolio there. But yeah, that's not a bad plan.
Yeah, just something to reflect all the great work that's happening. You know, if people are interested in what the city is doing on climate change.
Sure. Okay. All right. So thanks, Dan. Anything else on refrigerants? I had another question, but I forgot it. Really not.
Dan, are companies going to be part of this training?
Oh, I don't know. We're not running the training, but it seemed like it was aimed at communities, but Julie?
Yeah, it's literally just Kingston and Phillipstown as municipalities, and the whole thing is municipally focused. So it's going to be Sean and then Dan and Jessica, and I think Maya's doing it from Kingston, and then Phillipstown will have their own representatives. It's a pilot. It was a direct ask to us. We said yes. So I don't think it was a wide open, like, who wants to do this? We jumped on. I mean, it was other communities were there was queries to other communities, but no one else jumped. We tend to jump first a lot. So no, it is not open to businesses. However, I would hope and I would think that whatever processes our team learns could then be extrapolated out into the community somehow. Like, this is how we did it for ourselves. We're walking the walk. And, you know, now we know the process, so let's do this for the community, because we know that places like Hannaford or grocery stores and all these other places that have way more refrigerants than we do as a municipality, we could get so much more bang for our buck, but we sort of need to walk the walk first and also understand the process before we can go out and.
Well, that was the reminder I needed, that this is a pilot. I did not remember.
Yeah, it's pilot.
I was able to connect the Kingston Co-op, the future co-op, with information on HFC free refrigeration, and connected them to Michael Helm, and they haven't purchased any of that stuff yet, so that could be a positive outcome as well.
That's great, Jessica, excellent.
Yeah, I mean, if whatever we can do to pay this information forward is going to be super valuable. Okay, anything else on refrigerants?
I don't have anything. We'll see how the workshop goes. I'll talk to Sean, and everything else will kind of probably play out.
Perfect. Okay, city sustainability projects. I don't know if I announced this the last time because I don't think I knew, but maybe I did. LED is reopened. I got the word today that our look ahead means is telling us that they're starting next week, which is very, very exciting. And so, however, starting next week really just means resuming a lot of work that still needs to be done. So, you know, I've got 45 arms that need to be transferred and dozens of lights that need to be still retrofitted, and actually hundreds of lights that still need to be retrofitted, and dozens of issues that we've come across since then. So it's going to be a combination of additional retrofitting, mostly of decoratives, and then troubleshooting while we still have them, that being the contractor. But it's positive that we're moving forward with that, and I'm very excited about it. Our organics diversion plan, I think I've been saying this for months, but I'm going to say it again, we're still wrapping up. It seems like we're going to be a couple more months still, but the analysis phase is wrapping up, and actually our final analysis meeting is with Department of Public Works, which is really the critical discussion about logistics. So we're anticipate having that meeting with DPW in early August to go over logistics. Carla has been really analyzing in depth, you know, our packers, how they're used, what the routes are, how we can modify them, can we do it, just those kind of logistics. So I'm very excited about the details of how that will come out. The open space plan was passed and adopted through the Laws and Rules Committee last week or so, to be incorporated into the comprehensive plan as an addendum. That is a really big step for us. We've been working on this starting with the NRI many years ago, and it's a real, I'm just super thankful to both my natural resources inventory consultant and our open space plan consultant, and everyone here and everyone on CAC and everyone in the city departments that's been contributing to it, to go from not having anything to the value of having open space be on the same level as other developments within the city or protections within the city is very telling of our priorities. So I'm very excited about it. So thank you to all of you that have been helpful with that, and we will know for sure after the August council meeting if it is going to be adopted. Unless there's a public meeting. I don't actually know the process, so I think that hopefully it'll just keep moving forward, but it did get through the Laws and Rules Committee. Two other quick things. We did get a funding passed through the council to have money allocated through the Parks and Rec Trust Fund. I think I might have mentioned last time, but we're managing several different parks projects. So you're going to see some major infrastructure projects, including 2 pavilions that are going to be redone, Wi-Fi and security cameras in several of our parks, of which we don't have much presence of Wi-Fi at all currently, or security cameras. We are doing a full overhaul of the Raquel Knox Park, which is down on Gill Street, which was a park that was developed after a young girl was killed in our community several years ago. And
What's the name of that park, Julie?
Raquel, R-I-C-K-E-L, Knox, K-N-O-X, K-N-O-X. It's on Gill Street. It's very, very small, but it is in Pankaki. It's the only park in Pankaki. And so it meant a lot to a lot of people. And so I'm thrilled that we're investing back into that park to make it better. We're doing a Barman Park fencing project where we're taking down the fence in between the Metro and Barman Park, and all the vegetation is coming down as well. I met with the tree commission to go over that, and we all decided and concurred that there are no valuable trees there, so that we're going to take that all out. There's a new replanting plan. And the skate park didn't get funded, but we are moving it forward full speed. So I have a professional skate park team, including actual professionals, skaters that live in our town, which is amazing because I can't even tell you how to properly stand on a skateboard, but I'm working with professional skateboarders. And it seems like even though the council didn't adopt the $50,000, that hasn't slowed folks down. We actually now have a goal of raising $400,000. So it's going to be a combination of grants, possibly sponsorship through places like Nike, GoFundMe. It's happening. So
Where is that going to be, Julie?
Right now we're actually in the portion of our evaluation where we were moving forward as though it was absolutely going to be at Hasbrook Park, and the lower part of Hasbrook Park where the old tennis court was, which is fenced in. But in meeting with these skaters, they wanted, and we all wanted to keep our options open. So they're actually evaluating other spots around town and creating a matrix of like, this is accessible, this has better whatever, this has worse whatever. So we are evaluating that. We have a meeting tomorrow. I don't want to be presumptive, but I think we're probably land back at Hasbrook because it just makes sense, I think, for a lot of reasons. But we are entertaining, we are evaluating lots of different places. And we know it's going to be a multi-year project, but we could have gone into this and said, here's $50,000, let's concrete over this place and throw a couple things in there and call it a day. But that would be checking off a box, and we don't want to just check off a box. We want a legit skate park. So
wow,
I'm learning very quickly about skateboarding, and it turns out my 9-year-old is too. So we got a new skateboard today, so we're all learning together.
Nice.
And the last thing finally is we've talked about it a lot in the past, but it's happening now. We have decided, the mayor has decided that we are going to move forward with CCA. So community choice aggregation. If you've been following in the paper, Sorority's just announced that they're moving forward rapidly as well. We've been having conversations with Jewel and other and administrators to understand the next step. Right now I'm working to develop or put together the language for the local law, and then next will be choosing an administrator. We have to still decide as a city what procurement process we're going to go through. We don't have to go out to bid for an administrator. We can just choose one, but I'm going to leave that up to our procurement folks. And then once we choose an administrator, basically they do all the heavy lifting. It's exciting. It's a big step, but we have been evaluating it, as many other people have in the community, for many years. And unlike other projects where we tend to put our hat in the ring first, this one we let other people work out the kinks, and I think that was beneficial. And so now we have other local examples of how to do it well, how to maybe do it a little better. So you'll see more of that to come. Anyone here that knows of other groups that are working on advancing CCA, have them be in touch with me, because this should be certainly collaborative, and everyone who may be working on it should know that it's happening. And so we don't need to be convincing. We need to work collectively.
Up and down the valley have been doing this. Betta, do you know how many other towns are doing it?
I don't know off the top of my head, but
Marbletown, Beacon, for example, are two, I believe.
Red Hook is
Michigan.
on that. It's
Yes.
been in for about 6 months.
Mhm.
Red
What
Hook.
did you say, what town did you say, Dan?
Red
Red
Hook.
Hook.
Oh, Red Hook, yeah. Yeah, I don't know the current number for the CCA, the one that you're talking, what Jeff Demansky's working on with Jewel, Hudson Valley Power, is that what it's called? Right? I will say that Monday, and you may already know this, but Monday at 5:30, there's a subcommittee of the Ulster Climate Smart Committee that's been like meeting about CCA, which is somewhat of a continuation of the like breakfast meeting that Julie, we participated in for years at the diner about CCA. So anyway, if that's of interest, it's at 5:30 on Monday. I can send the details. Susan Gillespie's kind of been pulling people together. She, of course, is, really like adamant to do kind of this more ambitious, more complicated CCA than the structure that currently exists, which is great. And I think, by all means, like, let's keep working for sort of that ultimate goal. But in the meantime, I think, as quickly as possible that Kingston can start participating, in CCA and have, the benefits with being able to say that we're getting our power from renewable energy. I'm really, of course, supportive of that and would love to be, involved in any way that I can in the process and helpful if I can be. So please keep me in mind. And if you can attend the meeting on Monday, Julie, or if anyone's interested in, let me know. But if you can't attend, I'm happy to like report back. I am planning on doing that before the Ulster Climate Smart meeting, which is also Monday at 7 o'clock.
Great. Can you send me the meeting info? I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but.
Will do. Will
Thank
do.
you. Okay.
Just real quick on the subject of CCA, New Paltz also has a CCA in place, and I would say two takeaways, like cautionary tales from the New Paltz experience is one, to try and really make sure that the administrator of the CCA is first trying to source power locally and trying to work with local energy providers to make sure that that power is not credits being generated in Texas. So that's the first thought. And the second thought is in New Paltz, to make it more palatable, they decided to offer a couple of options. You could get the CCA plan by default of 100% renewable for a better price. You could opt out and just get whatever the utility wants to give you, or you could opt under, I guess is what they called it, which is a brown power mix that's cheaper than the green power mix. So they kind of kneecapped themselves by offering something that was cheaper than the 100% renewable and cheaper than the utility default mix and not renewable. Dirtier than the default mix and cheaper. So I sort of took that as a cautionary tale. You could probably talk to Liz Elkin or Jess Mullen if you wanted more input from them, or if they should be connected with somebody who's working on the CCA details for Kingston, or Janelle Piotr. So any of them would be good folks to maybe sit down with whoever's going to do the negotiating for Kingston. That's what I had to.
Great, thank you.
Rennie, has the council been involved, or has the council taken much interest in this decision?
Was your question to Rennie or to me?
To Rennie. Or you. I'm just curious to know.
The council will need to pass a resolution. They'll have to pass a local law. And then they'll have to, well, I don't know if they have to have input into the administrator. Up until now, we haven't talked to them formally about it. I haven't talked to them formally about it. So there hasn't really been discussion about it. I don't know if they've internally had discussion about it. I can't imagine they have, but I don't know. But they will need to pass a local law.
Mhm. Yeah, that was my understanding. So anyway, I thought Rennie was here. I thought I'd ask.
Okay.
Good thing to be doing. And I appreciate what you said about, not being first in line. Because as Cal's saying, there are lots of variations on this. Holy smokes, Susan Gillespie and Betta and you all have been working on this for 10 years.
It seems like it. I don't know if it's quite been 10, but
Maybe
it's
it's
been
8.
at least like, I think CLP has been working on it for at least 5, yeah.
Oh, definitely more than 5. But
And
in any case,
so
long
that's
time.
why I'm a little anxious that we get on it. And it's great that, Westchester has kind of led the way, and hopefully we can, do it even better here in the Hudson Valley. But really exciting to hear that the mayor's supporting it and ready to move forward.
Yeah, and the timing works well. Also that Saugerties and some other communities as well are also ready to be moving forward, because frankly, they're going to need our numbers to make it worthwhile to, whoever's going to bid on it. So they're going to need our accounts, basically, our people. So I wouldn't.
Well, yeah. In a world where almost everything that individual homeowners are going to do to become more energy efficient is opt-in, right? They have to actually make the decision, maybe have to put up money and all of that. This is opt-out, and which by definition means that the participation is going to be very high.
Yes. Okay, great. Great discussion. Anything else on that? And I'll circle around with folks from CLP. We certainly, no one's trying to usurp anything that's going on, and we all are in the same, we're all moving forward together. We just, it's kind of been a lot of things separate, and now we're there, and now we need to, move forward. So we're excited.
Great.
Okay, anything for Repair Cafe?
All activity is suspended, although in Kingston and in New Paltz and probably a couple other towns, there's a lot of discussion around open air Repair Cafe. So it's analogous to open air dining. But there's there are a lot of questions about it. And of course, no one would be expected to participate who doesn't, feel entirely comfortable. And the earliest we would be doing this is possibly late September, more likely October. So we would, towns like Kingston and New Paltz, the Kingston group is very interested in it. And there would only be opportunity for one before it gets cold. And in-person repair by strong consensus will not be until 2021.
Okay. Where did you say it was going to be in October? Did you say?
Well, the Kingston location is Redeemer Lutheran in the Roundout.
Yeah.
It's
the
specific.
parking lot.
Folks in that congregation are very interested in making it happen. They have a nice big parking lot and everything that would make it viable. So we'll see. It's the case where everyone really needs to come to it on their own terms and be be in support of it. It's not something you can ask anybody to do that does not wish to do it.
But it would basically be more like a farmer's market setup.
Well, first of all, it'd be a much smaller event. The scale of it would be much smaller. You would probably have, one repair person for each of, say, 6 categories of repair. And that one person would be at a table, and people would make reservations in advance and would also set some sort of description about the item they have and what sort of attention they think it needs. They would show up, they would sit, 6 feet away. We would wipe down the object, we would pass it over. 6 feet is close enough for people to talk through masks. And so you'd be able to do it. some small number of items, a relatively small number of items would get attention. So we'll see. It's a way of, keeping the activity going. I'll just add that the virtual repair events, which have truly been global, they have been originating from Sweden. I mean, I did one last week from Boulder, Colorado. So from all around the world and many parts of the US and North America, US and Canada. And those have gotten better and better, basically as the organizers have figured out how to do it. The key is Zoom breakout rooms. So you bring your item, you let people know what you're bringing in advance so that there can be some preparation, and then you show up with it, and then you go to a breakout room, and 2 or 3 other people follow you to that breakout room, and you have a good time trying to figure it out. It's pretty good. It's actually quite fun.
That's fun.
So,
Awesome.
that's
Okay.
what's happening.
Great, thank you. I do just want to make a quick note. I know we're all in Kingston. I'm just seeing a thunderstorm is happening now. I haven't been on a Zoom call yet where we've lost power. I am in my office. We lose power here sometimes. So if we lose power, we will be kicked off this meeting because I'm hosting it. If that's the case, then enjoy the rest of your night. But we're going to keep going unless we lose power. Okay, so anyone else have anything else on Cara Cafe?
Melissa's not in attendance, but she and I are, of course, in touch.
Great. Anything, so Melissa and Maya aren't here. So does anyone have anything on outreach and education or youth? Oh, Cal, great.
Hi, so Melissa and Maya brought me aboard for education outreach. We had I guess a committee meeting or subcommittee meeting. I don't know what you call it, but we talked about what we want to focus on right now. And it seemed like a top priority should be just finishing and printing the brochure that Melissa has been sort of working on and off for 1,000 years. Because it sort of gets worked on for a while and she'll bring it and people will give some feedback and then it'll sort of fall off the radar for a minute and then come back. And so we're working on just making that, getting that finished and then focusing on the next thing instead of having multiple projects since it's, a small group of us. Is there a way to share an image or should I just send it by email? Because I have just a mock-up of the redesign so that it's the feedback on the other one being like not super legible.
Yep, I'm going to make you the presenter and then you're going to hit screen on the bottom of your screen.
Got it. Groovy.
So,
oh, screen. Ask the organizer. Okay, so once you've made me a presenter, I can do it.
So I just made
lovely. Thank you. What is that? Clean screen? Yes, let's do that. Cool, so here we are. Can you see?
Yes.
All right, so I kept a lot of this stuff, switched it up some so that there's less text and it's got better contrast and it's not on a black background. Once it's printed, I think it'll be more visible, but we'd want to see whether the green and gray are dark enough or if they need to be made a little darker. Still have to add some, like, here's the website or whatever down at the bottom. Zhoosh things around a little, but as a general aesthetic, how do we feel about the look of this? The colors generally, the layout generally, the little graphic.
I like it a lot.
Yes, like it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, looks great.
Very
Professional.
I'm hearing good things. Okay, awesome. Anything I should take away as like, don't do that so much before I start working on the other ones? To be clear, actually, I will mention right now, we are going to probably take the green business part off of here for now because the green business challenge and everything about it has been removed from the county website. I discovered when I tried to go to the website, so that can probably come down for now. But
Are we gonna have like okra on there?
we can. If folks have specific things that they'd like to make sure get in, please email those to me and I will make sure they get in.
I would think under where can I reuse and rethink, that would be an important resource, right?
Yeah.
There's also a recycle one. So there's reduce, reuse, so the reuse and rethink, reduce, recycle.
Okay.
There's another one. So I think it's under recycle.
I mean, Cal, if you can, like, I don't know if you're doing these in what format or if there's like Google Docs with the content. I can't really give it's hard to give input
No,
when
it's
I
fine.
can't even like read the text barely, but I mean, it looks great, like the layout and the design, but if you wanted to share, like all the content, I'm happy to review it before you make any final decisions.
Cool. So maybe next step on this would be, I will just make the list of what's going to go on the 4 panels. I will send that list so people can be like, that thing should or shouldn't go on there, or please add this thing and take something off.
Mhm.
And then folks can give feedback on that. And then I will mock up the rest of them, send them out for everybody to look at.
Did you
Yeah.
say that there will be 4 separate ones?
I think there were 4 panels originally that Melissa had made.
Are they
Would
going to
it be
be
better to
double-sided?
they could have one and then so that it's just 2 different things with like recycle and reuse on one, and I don't know. It was the format that Melissa brought and I just kept the format, but I could probably make it into a trifold if that's better.
Well, that's what I was thinking, is a trifold takes up 1 space and 4 things take up 4 spaces.
Yeah, I would agree.
If we'd prefer it to be a trifold, I think that can be done. So
That's
That
what I
also
was,
sounds to me.
let me make a note of that.
This is a comment on the design, and I like it a lot. As I say, I like the color palette. It's very appealing.
Thank you.
You haven't used the logos for these different organizations, and of course they all have logos, but I like the fact that you have not used the logos. I like the fact that you've got the kind of design cohesiveness of your own making.
I liked the little gear for the repair cafe, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Well, that's helpful because I also feel like logos look kind of busy when you have more than one logo on a thing. Like we have our logo at the top, and I feel like adding more logos is just gonna make it look too busy.
Yeah, I think
Great.
there's something also about this design that makes it feel like everybody is working together rather than, this is us and that's you and this is, it's a nice way of communicating the community aspect. I like it.
Wonderful, thank you. That's helpful feedback.
okay, any other feedback on this?
Great to see it's happening.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Cal, and thanks for bringing that message back to your team.
You are welcome.
Okay, so Green Business Challenge, Meta, any updates?
No, I don't have any update. Sorry.
Okay. Zoning,
Did we already finish? Was youth kind of an outreach the last topic?
yes. At the last meeting, we decided to combine it into one.
Okay, because I do have an update on that. So CLP has been developing this green jobs apprenticeship program that's been kind of a collaborative effort. Some of you might have been at the green jobs meeting that I hosted like ages ago at my office, and it's sort of evolved into this, which is very exciting because we got a little bit of money, CLP did. And we're now going to be doing a month-long training for young people to kind of tag along with contractors. We have a handful of contractors, clean energy businesses that have agreed to participate in the program, and it's giving, people a chance to see like what a career in that field would be like. So, and it's paid, it's a paid internship. So, and it's, it's short, but hopefully we'll open the door and get people like going on into this first step. So anyway, we're just finalizing the flyer and the application now, but we should have it ready to go like later next week, or sooner. And I'll share it with everybody. So if you know anyone, we really want it to be targeted at Kingston young people over 18, but or anyone really, but so yeah, if you know anyone who you think might be interested, who might benefit from some job training and connecting with local contractors, seems like a great opportunity and would love your help promoting it. Or, the county is very excited about it. We've had some meetings with Evelyn and Thomasine and various people on the county, economic development kind of green front about this, and they want to tie it to their Green Jobs Academy thing. So anyway, I just wanted to mention it to you all. And
that's fantastic. And now, because these businesses are out there doing business, they are not having to stay at home. So this is something that can proceed, right?
Yeah, it's proceeding. I mean, Sun Common is one of the businesses that has agreed to do it, and they're, full steam ahead with a community solar project in Kingston, and still want help with that. And we have some other contractors who are on board. It is a little bit of a challenge given the current situation with COVID. But it's our first crack at it. It's a pilot, and hopefully we'll just keep learning, as we go in this process. But if anybody's more interested in details, please let me know. But I will, at the very least, I'll share the basics with Julie, because I don't think we have the Google group active anymore, right? The Kingston Climate Smart Commission. I think we talked about having a Google group, but I don't know whatever happened with that. So I'll just share it with Julie, and you can share it with everybody.
Well, everyone, this is, I think, my opportunity to talk about the Facebook page a little bit, because this, of course, is ideal for the Facebook page.
Absolutely.
And now, everyone on this call, every time I post something, I send an email to you all saying, hey, there's something new. Please go, see, like, comment, and share.
Yeah.
There's not much action. If Karen Sullivan were on the call, I would give her a big star, because she always responds. But, and Dan has emailed me and said, hey, John, I'm not on Facebook, so it's not going to happen. But please, the rest of you, when I send you an email, the link's right there. Make it happen. Sharing posts is the way to expand the reach. So please do it. That's my pitch.
Thanks, John. Betta, how are contractors getting engaged?
Kind of word of mouth. Contractors that we had relationships with, and let's see, the ones who are currently involved. I had Common energy conservation specialists, Judith Karpova, who works for them sometimes, Joe McDowell, who I think does a lot of work with the city and is very passionate about youth stuff. Anthony Abdi or something. He did the New Paltz zero carbon building. Yeah, a bunch of contractors are interested in participating, but I don't know if it's been such an official process getting them, more just who we have relationships with and kind of brainstorming. But if you have other ideas for how to reach more contractors, get them to participate, would be all ears.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying I have any ideas, but if I have contractors, I should just send them to you.
Sure.
Great.
That'd be great.
Okay, anything else on that or Green Business Challenge? Moving on to zoning updates, Kevin?
Yeah, the only thing I have, it's not specific to the zoning changes, but Emily Flynn had provided us with a link to a weekly webinar. I think there's 4 webinars in this series that cover the effects of climate change on urban agriculture, specifically new crops and how to grow them in what they refer to as the new normal. I wasn't able to attend it because it conflicted with another webinar. It's like a Thursday at 1 type thing, and there's always something else going on. But so I'm waiting for an update from the people from the committee that had attended, and I'll forward that as soon as I get it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Heat Smart, John?
Well, it's on the Facebook page. Sustainable Hudson Valley has a couple of interns, one of whom is very good at Instagram graphics. So there is a series of 6 slides on the Facebook page which do a great job of running down the program, the benefits and why we're doing it and so forth. So 6 slides tell the story. You can share that. The program is getting going, but it always depends on getting the word out. So Serena, I see you're on the call, and Kevin, you're on the call. At our last meeting, we talked about, Serena, you taking it back to the Kingston Land Bank, and Kevin, you taking it back to the Land Trust. Have you been able to assess something?
Yes.
Our meetings are off, so I don't have the land bank meeting again until next week because of schedule. I don't know how that ended up happening because the schedules had to change. So I haven't had another, I don't know what happened at the land bank meeting. Honestly, now everything's running together. I don't know if it was technical difficulties because I didn't have access to my notes and we had a meeting, or if we just haven't had a meeting yet because of timing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Confused. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so looking ahead, Serena and Kevin, I will send you the JPEG files for those 6 slides.
Okay.
And I think that will be helpful to you. It
is definitely a critical time to do that because the properties got closed on for some of the houses, and the contract is there to get stuff done with Enterprise, the grant, the contractor for the grant for the land bank. So any information that I could get as soon as possible would be great.
Okay. I will send that to you following this meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Anything else on that? Cal, any updates on solar, community solar?
I did a little poking around to just see what was going on. So I have a general update, but you could also just find this in the paper. For community solar, which is going a lot stronger than residential solar right now for obvious COVID reasons. There are currently 91 community solar projects either recently built, proposed, or under construction in Orange, Ulster, and Sullivan counties combined. I couldn't get the breakdown, but that's 288 megawatts. That's according to NYSERDA as of July 17th. 36 of those projects have been built, so that's 93 megawatts that have been built. That's about a third of that. There's money moving towards expanding EV charging capacity in the state, as well as the funding earmarked from the CLCPA for low income or low and moderate income solar projects based on the climate justice aspects of the CLCPA. I don't have anything to detail on that, but I can tell you it's moving forward. And if people want to read about it, I can send you the link from NYSERDA's website, but it's just a press release. So that's what I know about local solar stuff.
Times Herald Record did a big spread on those community solar projects.
Oh yeah, I think that might have been the source I found too.
Yeah, it is interesting because when we wrapped up Solarize Hudson Valley in first quarter of 2018, this kind of growth is exactly what we were talking to people about, saying wait 2 years and this is what you will see. And lo, it has come to pass.
Yeah, I just dropped the link in the chat if anyone wants to just look at the article. The article had a slightly negative tilt to it. It was sort of like a barrage of solar projects have been overwhelming boards. And it's just interesting the language they chose, but it's still got some facts to it. So that's all I got.
Okay, thank you, Kyle. Anything else from anyone else on community or solar? Community solar or solar?
I have some news, which people might be happy to hear. Our old friend Azrael's project may I know it may be rising from the dead. I apologize to people who don't know what I'm talking about, but a former commissioner, Azrael Elaine, worked for years to get this community solar project built at the Jockey Hill site, just kind of outside of Kingston off 28. I mean, it's technically Kingston, but it's not Kingston. What is it technically? Ulster? Is that technically Ulster? Okay. But it used to be the Kingston dump or something, landfill, right? Okay. Anyway, I don't want to get us too off track, but basically, he tried for years to get this community solar project built, and the cost was, out of control with Central Hudson. The project wouldn't pencil out. And so it got shelved, and lo and behold, there's now a new rebate for developing on landfills from NYSERDA that makes the project financially viable, we hope. And so now it may, it may be moving forward. Some of you may know Ron Leonard is helping Azrael get the project going again. And I guess they do need some paperwork from the city because of the past landfill issues. So possible, would love to meet with you, Julie, offline and the mayor, if, he has time and is interested and can do it, just to discuss kind of the paperwork side of this. But it sounds like the project may be viable, which is great because we all know how much work Azrael, or those of us who know how much work Azrael put into it, and that it would be, another project like in our backyard on land that, is not going to be used for anything else because it is the site of an old landfill. So some good news, maybe.
He's maintained the lease option on that land the whole time, or does he own it outright? I don't remember.
I think he owns it outright, right? Mm-hmm. He bought it from the city, and it's just a little complicated because the landfill was previously owned by the city, and there needs to be some kind of liability waiver signed because of the land, so that whoever now is developing the community solar project doesn't somehow become liable for anything related to the landfill, which was there, 40 years ago. So that's basically the deal.
Yeah, I'll follow up with you tomorrow.
Cool. Yeah, it'll be so nice, if that actually happened.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, anything else on solar, community solar? Maya's not here, and I'm not aware of any advancement on the bike ped master plan, so that's tabled. Jessica, anything on the New York Energy Stretch Code?
Nothing new.
Okay. Sorry, I keep muting myself because I have my window open and there's a lot of emergency vehicles that go past my window. Okay, green fleet and anti-idling policy, there's no advancement on that at this point, so we're tabling that as well. There's no new business, but I guess on old business, we should talk about the Casey letter. So this is the letter to Casey Schwartz for thanking him for his service in his resigning from Conservation Advisory Council and Climate Smart Kingston. At our last Climate Smart meeting, I had told you all that CAC was writing a letter, and we all decided that it would be great for us to tack Climate Smart on there and make one big letter, which I then brought to the CAC. And at the meeting, it was decided that was okay, but actually I just got the letter from Emily that says she's not really okay with it. So either way, it's not a big deal to me. However, that being said, I sent you a letter that was being sent from the CAC. I got some feedback from you all, and I appreciate that. And I guess this is just a formality to say, is everyone okay if I basically take this letter, make the changes, put it on our Climate Smart letterhead, and write everyone's name on the bottom?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes.
fantastic. Great. Did anyone have any objection to anything that's in it? Great. Thank you. All right, so announcements, communications, events, and updates. Serena, anything from public safety?
They did
Hello?
not update anything to us. I was able to attend the meeting last time and give our full report, but other than that, really the only thing that they talked about was a parking space behind the George Washington Elementary, if such a thing is possible. Did I lose you? Hello?
No, you're here. What's the parking
Okay.
space? What are you talking about?
They're trying to.
Lost you. Okay. When she gets back, she can update us on the parking space. Serena, if you can hear us, we cannot hear you. Ulster County Climate Smart Committee, Kyle or Betta, anything?
The last meeting, so this month's meeting is happening after this meeting this month. So the last update you got is the most recent meeting that we had. So no
Okay.
updates today.
Okay. Yeah, this meeting came up fast. As you all noticed, I sent out the reminder this morning because I feel like it came really fast this month. So be it. Time flies. All right, so you can update us next month. Are there any other announcements, communications, events, or updates?
I have a couple quick ones, and one is that I have accepted an appointment to the Ulster County Recycling Oversight Commission. So this is at the behest of Manna and Laura Petit. So, of course, my interest in it is zero waste and diverting things from the landfill. So a big piece of this is, the county is looking at a new landfill, and that's a huge undertaking. And my concern at this point is that it's not a visionary plan at this point. It's very much kind of business as usual, what they're looking at. And the other announcement is that Gardner Climate Smart, our colleagues in the Climate Smart program in the town of Gardner, 2 weeks ago cut the ribbon for their new EV charging station. And they're very proud of it. It took them 2 years to get it. It was a long circuitous route. And the location is notable because it is the only charging station directly on a rail trail. And it is, as they like to say, it's the trifecta because it's immediately behind Main Street. It is in the parking lot for the library, and it is on one of the main access routes to the Wallkill Rail Trail. So that was a big deal. Jen Metzger was there to help cut the ribbon, and others. It was a fun thing. It's a real accomplishment. And I actually thought, well, let me float this idea. As a climate smart commission, and other climate smart task forces really look up to Kingston because we are silver. We have achieved the lauded, level of silver. So the New Paltz people I know are, right, Cal, you know this, they're always thinking, oh, we want to get there, we want to get there. And New Paltz has a lot of interesting programming going on. In fact, perhaps sometime, Cal, you could report on everything that the New Paltz group is doing.
I'd be happy to. I go to their meetings a lot.
Yeah, because it's really, it's a lot of creativity there.
Yeah, there's like 3 different groups plus a book club. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. And so I thought that our Climate Smart Commission could send a simple letter of congratulations to the Gardner Climate Smart Task Force saying, hey, you got a new EV charging station. Good for you. So I would be willing to draft that letter if you all think it's something that this commission could do.
That's a
Okay,
nice idea.
thoughts from others? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I'm sorry.
Thumbs up. Okay, so John, if
Why not, Dan? Right? Why not? What could go wrong?
if- what could go wrong in life? Who knows? Um, Can you please draft it? And then do you have the letterhead or do you want me to put it on the letterhead?
I guess I would ask you to do that.
Okay, you draft it, I'll put it on the letterhead and I'll send it. Who am I sending it to?
You would be sending it to Jason Meyer. He's the leader of the Gardner Climate Smart Task Force.
Can you also send me Jason Meyer's
Oh yeah,
contact?
of course. Of course.
Okay. I did want to just tack on to that. I haven't been really mentioning or giving updates on our EV charging stations because there's been a little bit of a lull in installation of the fourth one. But the 3 that we have installed are getting quite a bit of use, far less icing than we've seen in the past, which is people that don't have plug-in vehicles using it. So far less of that, more regular use. And also we have purchased and are installing now actively the 4th location, the 4th Kingston specific funded location downtown. And it's going to be at the municipal building that houses building safety and the downtown fire department. So it'll be near the police station, the fire station, building safety, and they actually already have, that division has 4 or 5 or 6 vehicles, municipal electric vehicles, so they need it themselves, but also it will be another location. There's already 2 downtown, but this will be another 3rd location downtown. So that's pretty exciting. The other 2 projects are going in at Prince Street, across the street here from my office, and the Deep Stadium. Both of those are contingent on bigger projects, so they're waiting on those projects to move forward before we can actually do the install. Any other announcements or events or updates?
Not sure if you all can hear me again.
Ken, welcome back. How have you been?
Sorry about that. I just wanted to say, I don't even know if this is, okay. I moved into Rubco's Energy Square 2 weeks ago, and it is the most amazing experience. So if I couldn't already recommend the LED, the LEED process or living in that kind of housing to anybody, I would be happy to give a testimonial to how good it feels to have a very low carbon footprint in your home.
Wow, Serena.
Yay.
That is
Awesome.
Congratulations.
That's
Is it
wonderful.
fully occupied? Anyone? Is it full? Serena, can you hear me? You there?
Maybe gone again.
Ah, we had her for a moment. I actually think it's fully occupied. But
There's a
hello?
bad thunderstorm, and it's really messing with my reception.
Yeah, I'm hearing it out the window as we speak.
It was actually the weather alert that I think kicked me off the phone before. The thunderstorm is getting really bad down here by New Paltz.
Okay. Is it fully occupied?
They said 71 people had moved in. I don't know if that means full occupancy, but I don't think it's fully occupied yet.
No. In fact, I didn't realize that anybody was in there yet. So there you go.
Yeah. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Be very well insulated because I hardly feel like anyone lives there yet, and I've been there for 2 weeks. It's awesome.
Can
Yeah.
you hear the train or feel the train?
I think an open house is an excellent idea. If they have any unoccupied units, you should call Rubco and ask them if they can do a courtesy field trip. It's really nicely done.
I love an open house. I also want to know if you can hear and feel the train.
That's the most amazing thing. Now, I happen to be lucky enough to be on the Cedar Street side on the 3rd floor. So I am not on the train side, but I don't even know the train is happening. And the really interesting thing is that when the thermostat kicks in and the whatever the internal system is kicks on, the white noise that it creates blankets almost anything, and it's not obtrusive. It's just very calming and would kill any outside noise, but I don't hear the train at all.
Oh, that's too bad. Don't you want to hear the train? It's just so romantic.
I can go to the parking lot to hear the train and enjoy the shade from my solar panels. It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Congratulations, Serena, to you and your family.
Yes.
Okay, any other updates? Okay, so John, you have social media postings for Betta's information about the contractors.
That's the big one.
Okay,
Open invitation, though. Anything you know of, send it to me, and I will let you know when it's posted.
thank you, John.
Thanks, John. And is our next meeting on August 26th?
Let's look. Yes, it is.
I would like to add something to the agenda about the Transportation and Climate Initiative. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but I can send around some info prior to the meeting, and then would love to discuss it at the meeting.
There's a survey going. Is that what you're referring to? The survey that's going around?
It's not a survey.
Survey going around.
John, you're
No.
talking about the Ulster County Transportation Council that's redoing their transportation plan for 2045. That is talking about something else.
Oh, I would
Okay.
like to know about that, but yeah, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, so what do you, I can put it on the agenda under new business, but what do you want me to title it as?
You could just put TCI, the
Nope.
Transportation and Climate Initiative.
Transportation Climate Initiative?
Yes.
Okay. Any other business? Do I have quorum for the 26th of August?
Like it.
Yes.
Okay, not hearing otherwise. Then we'll see you then. I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
No, I didn't hear first.
Oh,
Somebody first?
first.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, Beto moved. John second. All in favor?
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Yes, okay, 6:18.
The Ulster County Climate Smart Commission meeting coming up in 45 minutes.
Excellent. I'm gonna stop recording now. Thank you. We just